Hi, I'm Tim, welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I would really appreciate it, and I promise to update daily. If you love this watch, you can see it, and you can purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. And today we are discussing a timepiece that is, frankly, a legend. A watch can be a legend for many different reasons, and I'll let you assign the origin of that term to this watch. That said, it's rare, it's exotic, it's famous, and I'll have to mention that if they give away a standard Rolex Daytona to the winner of the 24 Hours of Daytona race, this one would be the winner's gift if the 24 Hours of Daytona were contested entirely by Mardi Gras floats driven by Elvis impersonators. This watch, known as the Rolex Oyster Perpetual Cosmograph Daytona 116598 SACO, came out at Baselworld 2004, although the watch does have a P case serial code suggesting that the yellow gold case was actually made in the year 2000 at the inception of the 6-digit Daytona and later repurposed to create this flight of SACO watches. On my 16cm circumference wrist, it does wear a little bit different, and not because of the way it looks, but because of the way it's built. It's a standard 40mm Daytona, and my 16cm circumference wrist wears it well. 12.2 millimeters thick. It's not a thick watch. 20 millimeters between the lugs. And what lugs? It's the conforming end link that integrates the strap to the case that changes the measurement of this watch across the wrist. As you can see, that end link protrudes beyond the lugs, giving the watch a lug-to-lug dimension of 50.6 millimeters. Now I should mention, if you don't already love this watch, I'm not going to try to convince you that this watch is really your style or that you should buy it. If you have a hot pink wrapped Lamborghini Aventador Cabriolet, you're probably the buyer for this watch and the target market. This is a timepiece that is no holds barred outrageous. It's brash. It's not bold. It's frankly insane. It's so over the top that I don't even know where to begin. I'm talking about the accessories for the watch, and they're as crazy as the watch itself. It's a calfskin leopard print strap hitched to a yellow gold buckle, and for once I've got a full gold Rolex on which the gold itself seems to be the least garish, that is, of all the elements. There is a lot going on here. And you can see this is an early style Rolex 6-digit Daytona clasp, but the nice thing about the clasp, along with the entirety of the watch, is that it has never been refinished. And if you're buying a watch like this that has actually been part of auctions organized around the Rolex Daytona, you realize that you've got an unlikely collector's piece and you want the cleanest, most original example you can find, and this one, full box and papers, unrefinished, is exactly that. You can see several different anchoring points inside the clasp. Now, rolling back over to the case side, you can also see that there's a little bit of tarnish on the gold, and we left that intact because over time, when a gold watch has not been refinished, occasionally this tarnish will form, and that's basically our promise to you that this watch has never been fettled on a polishing wheel. It comes right off, but we left the watch entirely intact, changing absolutely nothing. And you can see this watch is exactly as it was when it left Geneva in 2004. The papers for this watch indicate sale in 2005, and you can see what the first owner saw on the watch, namely a lot of gold and a lot of stones. 48 diamonds set into the lugs. You have another 8 brilliant cut gems on top of yellow gold indices on the dial, and then you have 36 orange sapphires with invisible track setting on the bezel itself. So there's a lot going on here, and that's before we even get to the famous, infamous, you decide, leopard print dial. Now, the leopard spots themselves are black lacquer on an orange-yellow base, and if you look at the dial from side to side, you can see that if you split it down the middle, it's actually symmetrical from its 9 o'clock side to its 3 o'clock side. You have an effective use of yellow gold indices and quarter Arabic numerals at 15, 30, and then 45, with the Rolex crown up at 12 o'clock, and yellow gold sunken sub-registers with black calibrations, making this watch surprisingly easy to read. Screw down crown, a trip lock, 100 meters water resistant if you do want to jump in the surf at Daytona Beach. You can see the mark left by the original caseback sticker. Again, we have not touched this watch. Underneath the caseback, Rolex manufactured caliber 4130. Back when this watch was made, it was still a bit of a novelty. 44 joules, automatic winding, 3-day power was reserve. It's shock resistant with a full balance bridge and a free sprung index. It's adjusted in 5 positions. It's certified a COSC chronometer, and it has a handmade Breguet overcoil hairspring to help the watch beat concentrically in any orientation with respect to gravity. The movement does feature a stop seconds function, and it also beats away at 28,800 vibrations per hour. It was the first of the modern Rolex in-house calibers, and it was really a trendsetter for everything that came after, standardizing the in-house movement with the 70-hour power reserve. Now, this is a watch that is so over the top. Again, you already have a visceral instinct to love or hate the watch, and that's okay. That's the point of this watch. Love it or hate it. I should mention that it's a recognized collectible. Look back to the 2013 Daytona auction, the Lesson 1 Daytona auction given by Christie's, and you'll see that one of these watches went for big money. A collectible then, even more so now, love it or hate it. This is the type of watch you've already made up your mind about long in advance. What I can't say is that you've ever seen one in person. Live the dream on the Watchbox.